Installing GarlicOS on the Anbernic RG35XX Plus isn't anywhere near as complicated as some guides are making out. In fact, all you really need to do is download a handful of files, extract them, and drop them onto the two SD cards. So if you want to get up and running in around 3 minutes, keep watching to find out how. The first thing we need to do is download the following files from the GarlicOS GitHub page. When you're on the page, click the corresponding blue links to download each of the files. The files we're going to be needed are Bootloader, RMHF rootfs, and the Init file. To download the Init file, just right-click the link and select Save Link As. Once everything is downloaded, go into your Downloads folder and right-click each of the files and extract them to their own folder. One thing to note, if you don't have 7-zip already, go ahead and install that now. Before we move on, we need to alter the init file, otherwise it won't work as it should. It's nothing hard, don't worry. We just need to get rid of the .text at the end of the file name. To do that, first we need to make sure that you have the file name extensions feature turned on. To do this, while in the Downloads folder, click on View and drag the cursor over Show. This new list will pop open, and then from here, make sure the file name extension has a tick next to it. Now go back to the init file, again in Downloads, right click the file, and from the menu, hit the rename icon. Now all you need to do is delete the .text part of the file's name. With that out the way, all that's left to do is transfer the files to the SD card. Grab your RG35XX Plus and eject the memory card from TF slot 1. Plug it into your PC, open up File Explorer, and in a new tab, head into the extracted Bootloader folder. You should see the following files in there: Copying, Dmenu, README, and the Device Resources folder. Highlight all of them and select Copy. Open the SD card and paste all 3 of the files and the folder into the root of the new SD card. For those who don't know, the root is the folder in the first level when you click on it. Once that's finished transferring, you're safe to eject the card and put it back in your RG35XX Plus. Grab your new SD card that we're going to load up with GarlicOS and plug it into your PC. In File Explorer, right click on the card and select Format. From here, we want to set it to exFAT. Once that's finished, open the memory card in File Explorer and create a new folder on there called Boot. Head back into Downloads and copy both the init file and paste it onto the new SD card. And now do the same for rootfs. Once both of these files are inside the boot folder, you're now good to put it into your RG35XX, and the next time you load it up, you'll be greeted by GarlicOS. Although this is a fairly painless process, I did have a handful of issues getting my version of GarlicOS to work. So let's go through some of the common troubleshooting problems. If Windows says it can't access the second SD card after formatting it, plug the card into your RG35XX Plus and load it up once. Obviously, it won't load GarlicOS just yet, but it will add some folders and the SD card will now be usable within Windows. Once you've hit the main menu on the RG35XX Plus, that's when you can close the system down and plug the second SD card back into your PC. Upon doing so, your PC should recognise it now. If you've done everything right and the original operating system loads instead of GarlicOS, plug both cards back into the PC separately just to double check that the files are in the right places. I found when I put my second card into the RG35XX Plus, for some reason it moved the files around, meaning the bootloader couldn't find the files it needed to boot. To fix this, just move the files you transferred back to where they should be. In the init file case, it's the root of the memory card. For the second GarlicOS card, those files should be placed within the boot folder. If you've transferred your ROMs and they're not showing up within GarlicOS, chances are they're in the wrong place. On the RG35XX Plus, your ROMs go into the ROMs folder, normally anyway. But with GarlicOS, you'll need to go into the library folder and transfer the games into the respective ROM folders. Once your ROMs are in the library folder, they'll show up again in GarlicOS. As far as I know, GarlicOS doesn't support PSP or Dreamcast. That means if you install GarlicOS, you're going to lose access to those emulators. Alternatively, you could do what I did and make a second stock operating system memory card for use with GarlicOS. That way you've got access to the official operating system for PSP and Dreamcast, and GarlicOS for its lush interface with older titles. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, and if you'd like to subscribe, that would be awesome. Until next time, see ya.